So it is Wednesday, December 25th, 2024. It's Christmas Day. And when I first started doing this, I decided, you know what, if people can be in the trenches every day, I can at least from the comfort of my own home do these daily to keep people informed and updated about what's going on. So I'm here this Christmas, I was here last Christmas, I was here the Christmas before, and I hope not next year, but if the war is still going on, next Christmas. So let's start here. If you were a gambling man and you were trying to wager what Putin would do on Christmas Eve, what do you think he would do? We're about to find that out. So 1,600 casualties day over day. So that's a reasonably high figure. It's not quite in the top 20, but it's up there. Now you'll see that 1,600 has just brought us up to 1,553 as average daily casualties for the month of December, as opposed to 1,515 in November, and a little bit less than that in the previous month. So it's steadily been ticking up, and the pressure hasn't gone away at all. Okay, 1,600 casualties, 4 tanks, 8 armored fighting vehicles, 10 artillery systems, 31 vehicles and fuel tanks. Now, you would think that these numbers would indicate something slower. I don't see this in Andrew Perpetua's count. In fact, it looks like his losses that he could identify for the 23rd were pretty significant. It was maybe 3, almost 4 to 1. Can't quite see it. It's a little cut off on the screen here, but it's about 3 to 1 or so. Okay, last night, if you were going to bet what Putin was going to do, was he going to have some kind of truce or Christmas miracle? No. In fact, it was interesting because Orban was rebuking Zelensky for not being willing to have a Christmas truce. But Christmas night in Ukraine, air raid alerts spread across the country. The traditional Russian explosive drone attack is still ongoing. Russians have now launched Caliber missiles from the Black Sea, and the Ukrainian Air Force is reporting this. This was at 10:31 p.m. at my time, Eastern Standard Time, and we're ahead by about 7 hours, I think, from Ukraine. Okay, so here's what actually happened. Shot down 0 out of 2 KN-23 ballistic missiles, 0 out of 10 S-300, S-400 ballistic missiles. The Ukrainians just have a terrible time shooting down ballistic missiles. It's a different animal than a cruise missile. 55 out of 62 cruise missiles and 4 out of 4 cruise missiles were shot down. So that's not a bad ratio comparatively, although it's still doing damage. It's still a lot better than what it could have been. 54 out of 106 Shahed drones were also shot down, but there's a note below that 52 more Shahed drones were suppressed by electronic warfare, who didn't reach its target. So 52 and 54, that's 106 out of 106 Shahed drones were shot down. But just look at this. Now, if you're looking at this image of, how many missiles and drones were hit, or you're listening to this on Spotify and you're hearing that, and you're thinking to yourself, if you're angry, if you're looking at this going, it's Christmas Eve and that's what they're doing, that's the proper response. You're supposed to be angry. You're supposed to be like, if you're human, you should be thinking, this is wrong. And it is wrong. Okay, ballistic missiles, again, they have a terrible time shooting down. And when you look at the ratio, 106, that's a little high of the Shahed drones. Again, yesterday we just went over that they can produce about 64 Shaheds per day, maybe a little less now that that one factory was hit, but that's what I would expect in an average night. So they are really trying to amp up the pressure by having another 60 cruise missiles and 12 ballistic missiles go with that. Okay, so here was a comment, including one missile that flew over Moldova. Russia's massive Christmas morning missile attack consisted of 78 missiles. 106 drones, was targeting purely civilian infrastructure. That's it. They hit some buildings and things along the way, but they were really trying to target the electrical grid. I read about a 51-year-old worker at a civilian electric grid killed last night as part of this. I mean, just it's tragic. Ukrainian air defense. Okay, I already talked about that. Approximate map of the movement of Shaheds and missiles overnight. 113 out of 184 aerial targets over Ukraine were shot down. Enemy launched 78 missiles, and goes into that. But you can look at the map and go, something's, yeah, it's not supposed to look like that at night. What's becoming a yearly tradition, says the Kyiv Post, Russians celebrated Christmas in the only way that they understand, by launching massive missiles and drone attacks onto the people of Ukraine. Now, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, there is something to this. This is all that they understand. They only understand force. They only understand, like, we're going to scare you into submission. We're going to work you over until you just say uncle. And I don't think that approach is going to work. I think what's going to happen is going to be very much like how the English bore up, or I'm sorry, the British bore up under the Blitz. And I think that's it. They're only going to embitter the Ukrainians. This brotherly people talk. No, there's generational hatred at this point, and for a good reason. Okay, here's Christmas in Pokrovsk. Total darkness, explosions every second, every minute, aircraft flying overhead, enemy empty streets, the rumble of military vehicles as they roll forward toward their destination. The lights on vehicles, if there are any, are about the only lights. Yeah, Pokrovsk is the thickest place of the battle right now. Now let's look at what happened just the other day. Satellite images revealed the aftermath of a drone strike on the Novoshakhtinsk oil refinery in Russia's Rostov region. At least one fuel tank was destroyed in the attack just a few days ago. Yeah, the hits keep coming, and they will continue to keep coming. What's interesting about this, though, is that this is a legitimate target as you're attacking your enemy's oil supply so that they can't carry on the war, as opposed to what you see here with Kyiv residents sheltering in metro stations at this Christmas morning as Russians launched large-scale missile and drone attacks across the country. It's just tragic to see that this is what's happening on Christmas. The Ukrainians are striking back, attacking Chechnya this morning. 4 out of 5 explosions are reported, but the attack is still ongoing. What you see here is a drone in the sky. You won't see any explosions. We don't do that sort of thing. It's on its way. We don't know exactly where, but in the past, it's been hitting Kadarov's military apparatus. It's our academies and so on and so forth. So it is Christmas, and today is the last day of our drone campaign. It's 8 in the morning Eastern Standard Time in the United States, and this drone campaign will shut off at midnight tonight. So at this point, we are at 110,000. Our original goal was 30,000. We're at 363% of the goal, but every donation will go to another drone for the 54th Separate Mechanized Brigade. So if you want to be part of this campaign and help provide eyes into the sky or guardian angels to the 54th Separate Mechanized Brigade, it's not too late. I will leave the link below, and thank you so much to all those of you who have given already $110,000 worth of drones. That will save Ukrainian soldiers' lives, and thank you so much. I'll leave you with this image of a Ukrainian soldier with a Santa Claus hat on his way to work. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes. Merry Christmas, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.